On August 23, 1989, approximately 2 million people joined hands to form a human chain stretching almost 400 miles from Tallinn through Riga to Vilnius. Named the Baltic Chain, this action was one of the most extraordinary peaceful protests in modern history. Two years later, Lithuania, Estonia and Latvia became independent states, finally released from the clashes of the agonizing Soviet Union. Despite centuries of occupation, each of these small yet proud countries managed to preserve its culture, language and national identity. Today we're travelling across the Baltic States, showing you wonders of nature, and beauty of human creations. Gauja National Park is the oldest and largest national park in Latvia. One of the park's most breathtaking natural landmarks is the Jägala Cliffs. A 200 feet long sandstone wall rising above the river. The park is home to more than 900 plant species and a wide range of animals. The Gauja River and its tributaries provide ideal habitats for beavers. Skilled engineers known for building dams and lodges. Their work creates wetlands that benefit many other species. The Eurasian lynx is one of Gauja's most elusive predators, with tufted ears, a short tail and spotted fur that blends into the forest. Black storks are rare and secretive birds that nest in the remote forests of Gauja National Park. Unlike their white relatives, they avoid human settlements and prefer quiet wetlands and rivers for feeding. One of the most visited sites in the park, Kuressaare Castle, a red brick fortress from the 13th century, overlooks the area, rising above the tree line on a high riverbank. Kemmery National Park covers over 140 square miles, featuring bogs, lakes and mineral springs. The vast Great Kemmery Bog is the park's most iconic landscape. The park is a birdwatcher's paradise, with numerous migratory birds nesting and feeding in its wetlands. The common snipe thrives in the park's moist meadows and bog edges. Though shy and well camouflaged, Their dramatic aerial display flights are a hallmark of spring. Several species of grebes, such as the great crested grebe, nest in Kemmery's lakes and ponds. These expert divers build floating nests and are famous for their elaborate courtship dances. Kemmery has been known for its mineral-rich waters and therapeutic mud since the 19th century. The park contains sulphur springs, which give off a distinctive smell and feed into the bogs. Saaremaa is the largest island in Estonia, located in the Baltic Sea. And is known for its peaceful landscapes and traditional wooden houses. Its natural environment is marked by pine forests, wind-swept coastlines, and scenic meadows full of juniper and wildflowers. At the end of September and in October, there are thousands of common cranes gathering in Saaremaa, before migrating further south. The main town, Kuressaare, is known for its relaxed atmosphere and historical architecture. The centrepiece is Kuressaare Castle, a well-preserved 14th century fortress surrounded by a moat and parkland. One of Saaremaa's most striking natural landmarks is Panga Cliff. Rising up to 70 feet and stretching over 1.2 miles, the cliff offers wide views over the Baltic Sea. And reveals ancient rock layers over 400 million years old. On the island's southern tip, you'll find the historic Järvi lighthouse. The current lighthouse tower is one of the tallest in the Baltic region. Rummu Underwater Prison in Estonia is a flooded former Soviet prison and limestone quarry. Located near Tallinn, the site features clear blue waters and partially submerged prison ruins visible just below the surface. After the prison was abandoned in the early 1990s, the quarry filled with groundwater. Once a site of forced labour, Rummu Quarry has transformed into an unusual summer destination. The clear water is due to its limestone base, which gives the lake its striking turquoise colour. Inmates of the prison worked in the adjacent quarry, extracting limestone until the site was closed after Estonia regained independence. Visitors today can explore above-ground ruins, relax on the limestone hill, or dive to see the submerged prison structures. Trakai Castle, one of the most iconic landmarks in Lithuania, is located on an island in the middle of Lake Galve. It was originally built in the 14th century by Grand Duke Kęstutis. The castle was later expanded by his son, Vytautas the Great, who used it as a royal residence and political centre. Its location on the water made it easier to defend. Constructed mostly of red brick, Trakai Castle is a rare example of Gothic architecture in the region. Over the centuries, the castle suffered damage from wars and eventually fell into ruin. Restoration began in the 20th century and was completed in the 1980s. Bringing the castle back to its former grandeur. The Karosta Fortifications, a series of coastal defence structures north of Liepāja, were part of a massive naval base meant to protect the Baltic coast. Originally built by the Russian Empire in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, Karosta, which means warport in Latvian, was a secret military zone for much of the 20th century. The fortifications include a network of bunkers, artillery batteries, trenches, and coastal gun positions. One of the most iconic sites is the northern forts. Where massive concrete structures now lie crumbling into the Baltic Sea. These forts were abandoned and partially destroyed before World War I as military strategy shifted. Despite their short operational use, they remain an impressive example of Tsarist military engineering. The weathered concrete, exposed steel, and graffiti-covered walls give the forts a dramatic and post-apocalyptic look. Kuldiga is a charming town in western Latvia, known for its well-preserved old town and romantic atmosphere. The historic centre of Kuldiga is a protected heritage site. The town has a strong cultural scene, with local galleries, small museums and seasonal festivals that celebrate Latvian music. In winter, Kuldiga takes on a fairy tale charm with snow-covered roofs and glowing streetlights. The town's most famous attraction is Ventus Rummu, the widest natural waterfall in Europe. While the waterfall is only a few metres high, it's an impressive sight year-round. In spring, one can witness the rare natural phenomenon of fish jumping over the falls as they migrate upstream. Nearby, the Kuldega brick bridge, built in 1874, is one of the longest of its kind in Europe. Riga, the capital and largest city of Latvia, was founded in 1201 and has long served as a major trading hub between Western Europe and Russia. The city's historic centre is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, celebrated for its exceptional Art Nouveau architecture and medieval buildings. The skyline is dotted with spires and church towers, reflecting centuries of architectural styles from Gothic to Baroque. Riga Cathedral was built near the river Daugava in 1211 by Livonian Bishop Albert of Riga. It is considered the largest medieval church in the Baltic States. The House of the Blackheads was erected in 1334 as a warehouse. From mid-15th century it was also used by Brotherhood of Blackheads, a guild for unmarried merchants, shipowners and foreigners in Riga. St. Peter's Church is famous for its towering spire that offers panoramic views of the old town. The Freedom Monument standing in the city centre honours those who died during Latvia's struggle for independence. Birģai Regional Park, a unique protected area in northern Lithuania, sits on soluble gypsum and dolomite bedrock. At the heart of the park lies Birģai Castle, a 17th century fortress built by the Radziwiłł family. Now housing a regional museum that showcases archaeology, ethnography and noble history. Just across Lake Šervena, connected by a charming 1700 feet wooden bridge, stands Astravas Manor. A 19th century neo-Renaissance palace surrounded by a romantic park. The bridge itself is one of the longest wooden pedestrian bridges in Lithuania. Lake Šervena and surrounding wetlands provide habitat for rare birds and amphibians. One of the park's most remarkable features is the Kirkli Lakes. A group of small, round sinkhole lakes nestled in forested terrain. The Hill of Crosses, a sacred site located near the city of Šiauliai, consists of thousands of crosses placed on a small hill. The origins of the hill date back to the 19th century, when locals began placing crosses in memory of loved ones and as a peaceful protest against oppression. Over time, it became a powerful symbol of national identity and spiritual resistance. Despite being bulldozed multiple times by authorities, the crosses reappeared, often overnight. Today, the hill holds an estimated 100,000 crosses of all sizes and styles. The site has drawn pilgrims from around the world. Especially after Pope John Paul II visited it in 1993 and held Mass there. An imposing Baroque complex of Pažaislis Monastery is located on the shores of the Kaunas Reservoir. Founded in the 17th century by nobleman Krzysztof Zygmunt Pak, it was built for the Camaldolese order. And is considered one of the finest examples of Italian Baroque architecture in Eastern Europe. The monastery's centrepiece is the Church of the Visitation. Throughout history, Pažaislis has served many purposes. It has been a monastery, a war hospital, a psychiatric hospital, and even a storage site during Soviet times. Jägala Waterfall is the highest natural waterfall in Estonia, with a height of about 26 feet. Located just about 18 miles east of Tallinn, it's one of the easiest natural wonders to visit on a day trip from the capital. The waterfall is part of the Jägala River, which flows into the Gulf of Finland. The limestone bedrock contributes to the waterfall's shape and layered appearance. According to local legend, the waterfall was created by a giant who carved out the landscape with his axe. There's a viewing platform and walking paths that allow visitors to see the waterfall from both the top and below. Kuressaare Castle stands at the confluence of the Musa and Memele rivers, a naturally defensible and commercially important spot. It was originally constructed in the 15th century by the Livonian order. Baltic Castle consists of two main parts: the medieval fortress ruins from the 15th century and the ducal palace. This palace section is one of the earliest examples of Renaissance architecture in Latvia. During the 16th and 17th centuries, Baltic Castle served as a residence of the Kettler dynasty. In 1706, during the Great Northern War, retreating Russian troops blew up the fortifications. In the 20th and 21st centuries, parts of the castle were restored. And today it functions as a museum and cultural venue. The Curonian Spit is a narrow peninsula of sand stretching 60 miles, separating the Curonian Lagoon from the Baltic Sea. The massive sand dunes, some over 160 feet high, are always on the move, slowly shifting with the wind and threatening to cover nearby land. In the 17th and 18th centuries, strong winds caused wandering dunes to bury entire villages. To stop the destruction, large-scale reforestation began in the 19th century. With locals planting grass, bushes and pine trees to stabilise the sand. Today, these efforts have created a rare mix of open dunes and forested hills. The Lithuanian side is home to the Dancing Forest, where pine trees mysteriously grow in twisted spiral shapes. The Glona Basilica is considered the spiritual centre of Roman Catholicism in Latvia. The current structure was built between 1768 and 1800 in the Baroque style. Inside, the icon of Our Lady of Glona is believed by many to have healing powers. Every year on August 15th, the Feast of the Assumption, the basilica attracts up to 200,000 visitors. In 1980, Pope John Paul II granted Glona the title of Basilica Minor. Located in the scenic Jägala region, the church is surrounded by lakes, forests, and rolling hills. Glona is easily recognised by its two tall white towers. A spring near the basilica is believed to have holy water with healing properties. Kaunas served as the temporary capital of Lithuania from 1919 to 1940. The city is located where the Nemunas and Neris rivers meet, a position that has long made it a strategic and economic hub. Its historic old town is one of the most charming in the country. One of the city's most iconic landmarks is Kuressaare Castle, a red brick fortress dating back to the 14th century, once guarding the Grand Duchy's western border. Nearby stands the town hall, often called the White Swan. The Jesuit Church of St. Francis Xavier reflects Baroque splendour and the influence of Jesuit culture in Kaunas. Overlooking the city from the green hill of Žalie Kalnis is the monumental Church of the Resurrection of Christ. Originally built between the wars and completed after Lithuania regained independence, it features panoramic roof offering breathtaking views of the city. Rundale Palace is one of Latvia's most magnificent Baroque and Rococo architectural masterpieces. Designed by the famed Italian architect Bartolomeo Rastrelli, the palace was built as a summer residence for Duke Ernst Johann of Courland. Construction began in 1736 and continued for several decades. The palace's grand facade, ornate stucco decorations and symmetrical layout reflect the grandeur of European court life during the Enlightenment. Rundale was damaged during various wars and later used as a school and grain storage during the Soviet era. A major restoration project began in the 1970s and lasted over 40 years. Today, it houses the Rundale Palace Museum, which showcases period furniture, artwork and decorative arts. The surrounding French-style gardens, designed in geometric patterns with fountains and rose gardens, are among the most beautiful in the Baltics. Tallinn, the capital of Estonia, is one of Northern Europe's best preserved medieval cities. The city developed under Danish, German, Swedish, and Russian rule before becoming the capital of independent Estonia in 1918. The old town, now a UNESCO World Heritage Site, is divided into two parts. Toompea, the upper town once home to nobility, and lower town where merchants and artisans lived and worked. Dominating the cityscape is the Toompea Castle. Beside it rises the Alexander Nevsky Cathedral, a striking Russian Orthodox church completed in 1900 during the Russian Empire's rule. St. Olaf's Church, whose spire once reached more than 500 feet, made it one of the tallest buildings in the world during the Middle Ages. The city's medieval fortifications still include over 20 defensive towers and long stretches of city wall. Irbene, a former secret Soviet town in western Latvia, is hidden deep in the forest and known today for its massive abandoned radar station. Built in the 1970s, Irbene was home to a top-secret military base called Zvjozdochka, Little Star. At its heart is the RT-32 radio telescope, one of the largest in Northern Europe. The town itself was not marked on maps and was entirely closed off to civilians. After the fall of the Soviet Union, the base was abandoned and left to decay. Today, the RT-32 antenna has been restored and is used for scientific research in astronomy, the site offers guided tours that reveal underground tunnels, former control rooms, and Cold War relics. Vilnius, the capital of Lithuania, was first mentioned in written records in 1323. During the 16th and 17th centuries, it flourished as the capital of the Grand Duchy of Lithuania. This golden age left a lasting mark on its old town, known for its blend of different architectural styles. At the heart of the city lies the Vilnius Cathedral, built on the site of an ancient pagan temple. Nearby stands Gediminas' tower, the last remaining part of the medieval upper castle. It was depicted on the former national currency, the litas. The Church of St. Anne, a late Gothic masterpiece built in the 15th century, is one of the city's most iconic buildings. The Republic of Užupis, a self-declared independent district inhabited by artists and free spirits, has its own whimsical constitution. And has become a symbol of the city's alternative, inclusive spirit. Our journey across the Baltic States has come to an end, but we will soon be back, showcasing you our infinite planet. Stay curious.